Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be reading scary stories, so turn the lights down, grab some popcorn, grab a nice beverage, and relax. This story is titled The Message. Enjoy. Don't dismiss this outright as the work of some raving lunatic. There's some sense to the story if you'll just hear me out. Look, we all wonder if time travel is possible, right? Well, let me tell you something. It is. I'm from the future, actually. I know you probably don't believe that, but seriously, I'm from the future. It's a really great thing getting to see the past, watching events unfold, stuff like that. We know more now than we ever would. Behind all the fun, though, there's more serious aspects. We aren't supposed to go in our own lifetime, and we are never allowed to contact our past selves. Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now. Yes, kid, you're talking to yourself, your future self. I'm going to be executed for this, but you know what? I accept that. I'm preventing something by talking to you that is worse than death. I can't tell you outright what it is, because the filters would catch it. This is the closest I can get. Trust me. I can, however, send a little message. You should probably read first word of every paragraph now. Hey guys, this story is titled What's in the Woods, and it's from Creepypasta, so let's enjoy this. I'm a sleepwalker. I've woken up on the floor and the hedges outside, and half hanging out of the refrigerator with orange juice spilled down the front of my shirt, just to name a few. Most of the time it would end in uncontrollable laughter from my two roommates, and thankfully over time my embarrassment wore off. Last fall, however, that all changed. My roommates and I attend a college in a fairly rural Midwest area, so the nightlife consists mostly of house parties and bonfires and cornfields. One Saturday night, my roommates and I were driving down a gravel road to the family farm of a friend when our high beams hit something about 200 yards down the road of our side. It looked like someone walking. So we thought maybe a fellow partygoer had vehicular troubles, though we hadn't seen any abandoned vehicles on the way in. We turned off the high beams, and as we got closer, we saw that it was a red-haired girl in a white dress that almost matched the fairness of her skin. I was in the passenger seat, so I rolled down the window and stuck my head out as Thomas slowed the car. "Hey, do you need a ride?" I tried to call out in the friendliest voice possible to alleviate any fears that may be caused by a car full of guys approaching a girl by herself in the woods. As Thomas continued slowing the car down, I could hear the gravel crunching underneath us, and we eventually came to a halt. The girl stopped walking and turned to us. She looked at me and smiled. A sweet but knowing expression that matched the mild humor I saw in her bright green eyes. She was very pretty, her hair a deep shade of shining dark red against her flawless pale skin. "I'm fine, thank you. I'd just like to walk," she said, sounding distant, very true of herself. "Are you sure? It's pretty dark out here. No telling what's in these woods," Dave chimed in from the back seat. Her eyes darted quickly to the source of the question, and she'd affirm, "I can take care of myself," and began walking again. "All right," exhaled Thomas. "I guess we'll see her when she gets there." So I said a quick "see you later," rolled the windows back up, and we rolled slowly past the girl and down the road. The party was pretty fun that night. For some reason, I couldn't get that girl out of my head. I kept looking around, trying to make sure she had made it here safely, but I never saw her. I asked others at the party if they passed her on the way in, but no one recalled seeing any pedestrians outside of the town. There was something about her that I found intriguing, maybe even a little unsettling. I attributed the latter to our remote location and fearing for the girl's safety. Dave suggested that maybe she lived around there and she was going for a stroll. But the only residence within 15 miles of that place was another farm that had been abandoned for over 50 years, so I wasn't convinced. Eventually the party died down and we got ready to leave. I hadn't been in much of a drinking mood, so I was sober to drive the three of us home. We paddled in the car, Thomas, me, and in front David sprawled in the back, on the brink of unconsciousness. Several folks had left early to go out to the bar in town, so once again we found ourselves alone on the gravel road, with darkness so black it seemed solid, surrounding anything from our high beams, and the tailgates didn't touch. About 3 miles from the party, and another 4 or 5 miles from the road into town that connects the gravel road, we spotted something on the ground beside the road ahead of us. At first we thought someone had tossed a white bag of trash out their window to avoid dumpster fees, but as we neared, we saw what it actually was. The red-haired girl. Thomas let out an appropriate "what the fuck," and I nodded in agreement. She seemed to be sitting with her knees pulled to her chest and her head tucked in her arms, which were folded on top of her legs. My stomach immediately sank when I realized it was her. I knew we should have picked her up. She's probably sitting here the whole time, scared and alone. I figured that this is why my gut was not letting me forget about this person. She didn't raise her head or look up at us as we pulled up beside her and Thomas rolled his window down. "Hey, sweetheart. You okay?" Thomas asked through the open window. No response. "Hey, can you hear me? Can we please take you somewhere safe?" Before Thomas could even finish enunciating the word safe, I heard him make a horrible guttural sound like he was choking on his words when he frantically began scrambling to get away from the window. As he began struggling, I saw the girl pass him for a split second and still she appeared, not even budging since we first spotted her. Finally, Thomas caught his breath and screamed, "Go, go, 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 go," and began rolling his window up. His tone genuinely freaked me out, even though I hadn't seen or heard anything, so I took off and we didn't look back until we hit the road that would lead us back into town. "What the hell just happened back there?" I asked him. I'm pretty sure Dave slept through the whole thing. "Mike, I swear to fucking God," Thomas began, still grasping for breath. She looked at me with her goddamn eyes were black. I could hear her talking in my fucking head, dude. What the fuck? Wait, what? What the hell are you talking about? She didn't look up the whole time. I didn't hear anything. I started getting uneasy, but this sounded like crazy drunk guy rambling. Oh my God, dude. She looked right at me. I could hear her saying every word over and over "I'm what's in the woods. I'm what's in the woods. I'm what's in the woods," but her lips weren't moving at all. It was getting me pretty good at this point. I'll be honest. I felt like a ping pong ball was stuck in my throat. I couldn't believe Dave was still passed out. I had no idea what's going on. I know that girl seemed strange, but this just seemed like something out of a horror movie. Nothing like that happens to real people, right? No, not right. Not at all. We finally made it home, but not without looking in the side and rearview mirrors more than we looked ahead. We managed to wake up Dave and get him in the house, even though Thomas' hysteria. Once we threw Dave on the bed, I went in my room to start getting ready for bed. I was scared out of shitless, but it was surreal. I didn't think I even processed it truly that night. I was just happy to be at home where I was safe. I talked to Thomas for a while and managed to calm him down enough to go to sleep. I promised him we would talk about this in the morning when we had a chance to recover from everything. The morning never came for Thomas. I laid in my bed for a while wondering what was really going on with that girl, if she was in fact a girl, and if Thomas had really experienced what he said he had seen. I honestly had no idea what to believe. I tossed and turned for a while, a little jumpier than usual. Eventually, I turned on some late night cartoons and was able to fade into sleep. I didn't dream at all. It seemed like I was asleep for a split second before I woke again. I woke in complete darkness, thick like the darkness in the woods, although it was pitch black at first. I knew I was not in my room. I was on my back on a hard floor. Fuck, I thought. I've been sleepwalking again. This room had a strong smell. Not a particularly bad smell, just a strong smell of wood and insulation and mustiness. Like an old unfinished room. I could tell the floor was made of wood, not concrete, so I knew I wasn't in the basement. I was in the attic. Immediately, I wondered how in the world would I managed, in my sleep, to push up the attic door panel on my closet ceiling and hoist myself in there. Slowly, I realized the faint pale light from the TV in my bedroom was sneaking through the open attic door and casting a flickering blue glow over the attic, causing the thick blackness to retreat ever so slightly. That wasn't the only thing I realized. I wasn't alone. When the TV lent its brighter flashes to the attic, I saw her. I don't even know anymore. I saw it. I saw the white dress, the pale skin, the red hair. Although it looked a little different now, it was standing in the far corner of the attic near the exposed truces, maybe 30 feet away from me. Its face looked very different, but I couldn't see it very well. I would say this was the scariest moment of my life, but it paled in comparison to what happened next. It was as if the second I saw it, it saw me. Its left foot slid out first, making no sound as it moved. Then it crouched down in a squat and slowly lowered its left hand to the floor and began to walk, not crawl, on all fours toward me. Frozen in fear and still lying on my back, I glanced towards the open attic door. I thought for a second that I might be able to make it to the door, but as I was trying to gather my courage, the TV turned off and I was in the black. With a sinking feeling, I tried to be brave and tell myself this was just a dream I was waking up from. That didn't last long. As soon as I turned my face back toward the thing approaching me, the TV flickered back on. The girl, this thing, it was staring at me. Maybe 6 inches away from my face. Its skin was still white as snow, but grotesque-looking blue veins bulged beneath its surface. Its forehead and eyes were unnaturally large and completely black, just as Thomas had said. I noticed its fiery hair looked different and then realized its hair wasn't red at all. It was blonde and almost completely saturated with blood. I could see the blood running down its forehead into its black eyes and around the 2 holes where its nose should have been. The worst part was its mouth. Its thin lips curled back from the pointed yellow teeth in its hideous grin that seemed to fade into the darkness on each side and never end. It was horrific. Unmoving visage. I was staring at as the woods. I'm in the woods, rang over and over in my head in the voice that seemed to belong to something incredibly old and unfathomably evil. I'm what's in the woods. Even though screaming was all in my head, I felt though as my eardrums were about to burst. Over and over, I heard this phrase, I'm what's in the woods, I'm what's in the woods, shrieked at me from the wheezing, nearly motionless monster that was before me. It seemed to consume me, the TV light fading out until I saw nothing but grinning face of that creature. This is the last thing I remember, until I saw nothing but the face of the creature. I'm safe now. Thomas and Dave burned with the house, but somehow I made it outside, where I just woke up. Almost everyone assumes I was sleepwalking and was already outside when the fire started, but I know what happened. The police don't believe me, but I know. I told them what happened, and I guess that's why I'm here now. Maybe they kind of think I did it. Who knows? Seems the only thing they could prove was that I'm a lunatic. I don't mind. The strong leather straps keep me in bed at night. No worrying about me where I'll wake up or what I'll do. I just go to sleep in my bed and wake up in my bed. I used to sometimes see the creature in my dreams, but they're giving me something for that now. It's not so bad. I just get a little tired sometimes. I might try to get some rest.